Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us in this webinar. And I'm so happy that you've joined us as Chris Gregory, the NBN expert and corporate affairs manager. He will be talking to you about the NBN and how it can work best for you and your business. So, Chris, will you please take us away?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jess, and thanks to the National Retail Association for this opportunity, and also those who are listening in right now and after when this recording goes out. So first of all, of course, always we'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting today, even though it's virtual. I do pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and future. The agenda today is pretty chock full. We've got four key things we want to share with you, though. One is the NBN and our response to the current crisis, the COVID-19 impacts for us all across Australia. And there's a component of community in that, but primarily we'll be focusing on business. And the second step is what that means for your business and how NBN for business, as opposed to NBN for a home service, can help. We'll touch on some of the digital landscape environment and a bit of a self-assessment process for you to look at from some Deloitte Access Economics research to check your own digital maturity and where you can go next. And then some independent research that NBN has commissioned over the last year and 18 months that reinforces what opportunity, but also the challenges exist in that space. And then in a very sort of actionable, practical way, we want to share some resources, some tools and support that's independent for you to use at your leisure to help you prepare, switch and use the broadband connectivity for your business benefit and growth and outcome. So we'll kick off spending a few minutes on the relief and assistance package that we have shared with the Australian community. Now that's on the basis of some network capacity contingency planning we did. So we looked at some overseas activity and what was going on prior to Australia hitting this environment, and we applied that to our context. So we did some planning and preparation and expanded our network capability in a number of areas. One of the key drivers we initiated was the provisioning of 40% more wholesale capacity on the network at no charge to our customers, the phone and internet providers. So straight away, extra 40% capability and capacity on the network to meet the forecast and growth demands that we were seeing. Just as an aside, we've actually built the network. Generally, our engineers tell me that we look at about a 2-year forward view in terms of data capacity. So the network is actually running fine at the moment, under capacity in fact. So there's certainly opportunity to use more. For specific supports, we increased some data allowances and also services available to our regional remote cousins via our satellite service. We launched a weekly data demand report to share transparency on how the network is operating and running. And in fact, it's running exceptionally well. At the moment, we've had the highest satisfaction ratings from consumer and business ever, and the lowest report faults to us since we launched back in 2007. We are still connecting on the ground, of course, with safe work practices for our people and our contractors in mind. But interestingly, the week prior to Easter, we actually had the largest number of connections ever in the life of the NBN rollout across the country, with some 42,000 homes and businesses connected. So large for us, it's been upgrading capacity, responding to issues we see, but business as usual. We, of course, have been playing our part with the federal government, our customers, the phone and internet providers in the Australian community. We've got a significant piece of communications that is active all the time now, and with tips and tools and blogs and thought leadership articles and examples on how to tweak what you can do at home to support your home-based working. And moving on to the next share of news, we relaunched recently a $150 million relief and support package for Australia. Now that's split into three components. It's to help connect low-income households with homeschooling needs, additional support to emergency and essential services, and also assisting small and medium businesses and residential as well, who are facing financial hardship. Each of those three categories have a $50 million allocation associated with them, and they'll operate in association with the hardship packages and process capability of the phone and internet providers. The small and medium and essential services package is actually uncapped, so we have an opportunity to revisit that as the rest of this calendar year unfolds in terms of relief and recovery related to COVID impacts. So next up, what does this COVID response and opportunity mean for your individual businesses, and for your home users? So there is, of course, an opportunity for financial support, and this is linked to support on the payment of monthly bills between May and September this year to help keep businesses connected. There's a separate rebate that will run till the end of the calendar year as well, and that's linked to another offer we'll speak to shortly. The big driver behind the opportunity here is to help ensure that businesses particularly are on the right service levels with connections that we are prioritising if you're a business or an essential service, and we're also prioritising fault resolution. So we're upgrading that response time and that capability. We're bringing in a free speed tier upgrade for eligible telehealth services. As of last week, there are over 5 million telehealth services delivered as part of the COVID response, and the federal government announced an expansion of the telehealth program. So we've come on board with that by saying any telehealth service that's on a basic introductory NBN service, a 12.1 speed or a 25 speed, will get a free speed boost to manage the video and voice requirements around that service. There's additional financial support for new connections of specific business grade services, and these relate to business voice, business data, and business service level agreements for assurance and fault rectification. These already exist in the market, but we've noticed that our research we'll talk about shortly shows that's underutilised. So one of our drivers is say, hey, if you want to get that quality capable service at your business at home, here's some additional financial support in place to do that. And of course, I mentioned earlier our increase in network capacity of 40%, and we are forecasting to add an additional percentage increase in the near future too. The last thing, I know this, we're all in the weeds of managing and responding and sharing and caring for each other and trying to keep our businesses afloat right now. But there is an opportunity here to have a review on what your connectivity looks and feels like, to move beyond set and forget. So you've connected to the NBN, that's great. Are you on the right service quality? Or are you yet to connect? Do some preparation to make the process as seamless as possible. All of these relief and support packages, just like connecting to the NBN, you go to your phone or internet, your retail service provider in the first instance. We are providing these financial and support packages in collaboration through them. So why does NBN help? Not rocket science here, and there should be some familiar understandings for us all listening in. Yes, you do get greater efficiency through cloud services. You can do things faster, more efficiently, more effectively, so there's a productivity outcome. In terms of engagement, you have the opportunity to reach more of your target audience faster and in a more enriching way. There's a very common theme in the content space of the digital world that video is king. So changing your fact sheets or your service commentary into a video as opposed to a text document is something to consider. You can enhance and improve your customer loyalty and engagement with them, which helps reinforce your existing market and grow your future. And as always, think local, act global. There is an opportunity to access new markets within your own state, within your own region, within Australia or internationally. These are all pretty recognised opportunities, outcomes. So where does this tie into our landscape of digital maturity, your own capability, and research to reinforce some of these facts? So we just spend a moment looking at where you are on a digital maturity scale. So the slide of the screen you're seeing now is some ongoing work from Deloitte Access Economics. And it basically splits businesses into 4 different areas of increasing digital maturity. So basic on the left through to advanced on the right. And the percentages there are the approximate percentage of small businesses that are in each of those pillars. So if we take one as an example, 41% of small businesses are in what's considered a high level of digital maturity. So they've got a website that is configured and manageable for mobile access, with more than 2 mobile devices in every home at the moment in terms of a phone, and right now 19 connected devices. And by 22, that's supposed to be the forecast to reach upward of 30. Having that responsive website and engaging in social media is really fundamental for any business. In the high level, yes, you've got an online marketing strategy. You have an online marketing budget, and you're executing an action plan that helps you come up in searches. It helps you fit into responses when someone's searching for you. And you have multiple cloud-based business applications that are supporting your business, whether it's an accounting software package such as Xero, or whether it's a business transaction activity at the back end that helps you with your supply chain. There are many, many out there. As an example, with the National Retail Association today, we're using Zoom. That's another example of a cloud-based business application. So take some time to understand where you are on this business maturity scale and think about where in a tangible and practical steps you can take the next steps to support your business. So what do we know, and what does the research tell us for businesses that have taken that digital step, are doing something around that maturity space of going online, going digital? So 3 key points we see straight away, again backed by the Deloitte Access Economics data. 28% of businesses see a revenue growth just by engaging more in digital. 60% earn more revenue. And also, for every step you move over the basic up to a higher level on the digital maturity scale, up that digital ladder, your employees earn more for your business as well. We obviously want all businesses to have the right opportunity, the right capability in terms of their broadband connectivity to enable these outcomes for you. So I'm just going to play a short video that links into some research we conducted with Alpha Beta from, and we call it Connecting Australia.
The way Australian businesses operate is being redefined. Almost all Australian small businesses now have access to high-speed broadband, and it's a game changer. But research shows the majority of small businesses are yet to fully embrace the opportunity this brings. Half of Australian businesses invest less than 1% of revenue on technology. Businesses who invest the most in tech have higher rates of revenue and employment growth, with increased spend on internet having the strongest business impact. So there's a lot to be gained from small businesses embracing the potential of internet connectivity. The NBN Access Network is helping small businesses thrive in a connected society. Visit our website for more information.
So thank you for that short interlude. The research that we commissioned independently to Alpha Beta, an economics company in Australia, showed some very clear correlations between revenue spend and business growth on technology, and specifically the more you spend on internet connection, growth in revenue and growth in employment. That resource and the ones we've talked about already and the ones we're going to discuss next will all be shared with you post this event via a fact sheet. You can go on and analyse and interpret and access this data yourself. So just reflecting on that, it was tens of thousands of data points we used over a number of years from zero data, in fact. What we found was small businesses with higher technology spend grow their revenue and grow their employment. And there was also a correlation between small businesses that spent more money on their internet connectivity, their revenue and their employment also grew. Now, this is in the context of 10, 11 years ago, when only 3% of businesses were Australia is connected to the internet. Now, 99% of us are. And as of this week, we had completed, from an NBN rollout perspective, 95% of the program. So we are nearly done. And that equates to a little bit over 7 million homes and businesses connected, 7 million, and a little bit over 1 million of those are businesses. So we are largely finished. So part of our drive now is to help businesses and the community understand and take benefit and opportunity from what this connection had for us all. Look, the second piece of research is something from Ovum, another reputable independent body, a researcher. And what this research showed and gives us all is some insights into particular industries and what drives digital change. So everyone talks about digital transformation or digital disruption, but what does that really mean? And what does it mean for my particular industry vertical? So we'll reference and we'll share this information to you as well, but it's split into particular industries. So retail is part of that, of course. We cover off what special services mean from a business perspective and when to do something about them. When to conduct a full connectivity review. So that's that reference I made earlier to you've connected to the NBN, you set and forget. No, this is an opportunity now to review and look at that. Is that connection you've got fit for purpose now and into the future? And some a bit of a template and some strategy thinking around how to address that. And then it ties into what services are available on NBN for you to access for your small business and where we can help you next. So it's a useful reference research piece, particularly around some thought leadership and what is this digital transformation thing all about. The next piece of research is from Telsite, and it was linked to digital workplaces in a study we commissioned as well. What it showed, and it may sound obvious, but there's still a very clear need for businesses across the country with the change that NBN's bringing and the opportunity and the new things around it to recognise that, yes, businesses do understand they need to be connected, and the vast majority are. They do want their broadband plan to be able to support their cloud-based future because that brings operational and efficiency cost reductions and improvements. But what we also found was that nearly 1 in 2, a little bit over 1 in 2, didn't think that they had the right broadband plan to take advantage of that high-speed connectivity or the connectivity that they've already got. So again, this research will be available to you to reference yourself to look in detail, but effectively it said, yes, you need to be connected. Small businesses told us that. Yes, they acknowledge that they are connected, and yes, they acknowledge that cloud is increasingly becoming fundamental to their business delivery in terms of their business-to-business back office support, but also their customer and how you manage those. But 1 in 2 were saying they don't think they're on the right service plan, and what can we do about that? So what you can do about that from an NBN government business enterprise perspective is we have developed, based on consultation and feedback, a number of resources and tools and support avenues for us all to go to. So we're just going to track through those now. Fundamental to all this is choosing the right plan for your business, and everyone has a different business need. If it's a consultant working from home, what's requirement for them? A suggestion would be dedicated data that would enable services that would enable their video conferencing to be delivered appropriately and their cloud-based applications. If I'm a medium business with multiple sites, I'm going to have different needs, and telephone lines, voice service lines will need to be impacted. And how do I manage those? So if we look at the 5 key pillars of things to consider when you're building out your plan for your business in terms of its broadband connectivity, enhanced service level agreements. So what does that mean? How long does it take to get a fault fixed when you have one? Good example here will be right now, we know that close to 3/4 of small businesses are on a residential grade service, not built for business grade needs. Residential service agreements in terms of a fault from NBN Co's perspective as the wholesaler is a response by next business day at 5 p.m. But that is only after the phone and internet provider have raised a fault with us. So an example I've worked through a number of small businesses in the past is your broadband service goes down on a Thursday afternoon. You report it to your telco. They have to do their due diligence and fault rectification before they engage us. And that may take all of Friday and all of Saturday. They place an order with us to have that looked at, the fault looked at, because they were not able to resolve it. We'll get to that on Tuesday by 5 p.m. That's the current service level agreement for residential grade. However, if you choose to take, and you can choose to take this from a phone and internet provider, a business grade service level agreement, we can be there within 4 hours. There's a number of layered options available to you for 8, 12, 24 hours, 9 till 5, business day, 24/7, whatever it may be. But that's a conversation that you'll have with your phone and internet provider about what insurance policy effectively you're happy and comfortable to take. The second pillar we need to talk about is the data service quality. So this is a global positioning really. All around the world, what does broadband really mean? There's 2 types. There's best effort, which is consumer residential grade, which can fluctuate during the time of day, depending on the number of users and what you're doing. And the second one is business grade, which is referred to committed information rate. So you get a uniform bandwidth, a uniform piece of the pipe for your service, for your data to go back and forward. That's business grade. And that's what we would be recommending for any business in terms of minimum service quality. Avoids speed fluctuations, guarantees uniform bandwidth and service for you. Of course, choice is out there now. There are more than 150 phone and internet providers for you to access on the NBN. A caveat there, not all of them offer business grade services at the moment. And so our business website, which we'll get to shortly, actually has a list of current active phone and internet providers that deliver a business grade voice, a business grade data, or a business grade service fault rectification service for you. The other one that comes up very regularly for us from the small and medium business community is voice service quality. So just like data service quality, that committed information rate, your unique bit of the pipe, we have a similar product and a similar service that is dedicated for your phone capability, whether it's one line or up to multiple lines, whatever it is, tens and hundreds. And then ultimately, the last one is speed tier. Very often, we all think of our broadband connectivity just as speed, and that's the only important thing. It's not. There's a quality of a service piece, and we've already covered those in terms of your voice, your data, and service level agreement. But speed still is relevant for you. So understanding that you do have a choice of speed tiers, and in terms of megabit service capability, there are multiple ones of those that we have available in the market, as do the telcos. So I know from an independent third-party advocacy and positioning, the folk have told me over the years, get the highest speed you can for your business. Take the maximum, because you will grow into it and you will use that. When we're talking about home NBN and business NBN, there is a difference, and we've alluded to that on the previous screen with the types of services and qualities. But in a practical sense, what are the things we need to focus on? We'll just run through those now. Excuse me. Get on the right speed that suits your download requirements and your upload requirements. Get on the right plan that suits your bandwidth needs and supports all the applications you're running in the background, and how many of those are running at the same time. How can you optimize your performance that you've got the best setup at home? What kind of modem do you have? Is it residential grade one? Is it a business grade? Where is that located? How is the signal being interrupted somewhere else in your home or your business? How many pieces of equipment are connected to it? What time of day is it? What's the wiring inside your business or inside your home? And is that having a potential impact on the service quality? And if your net goes down, we have certainly found in the very recent past that virtual private networks do have a significant impact. And all of these things to be considered that separate the difference between home and business grade NBN really comes down to speeds, download and upload, prioritising the data for you, so that dedicated piece of bandwidth, getting on the right plan, and then optimizing the performance in your home and the performance of a service agreement in case your net goes down. All of these things you can assess through the tools and resources NBN Co have, but you can also engage and understand those through conversation and consultation with your phone and internet provider. So the key resources now, we'll move on to those in a practical sense. And again, just to remind everyone listening in that these resources will be made available through an emailed fact sheet after this initiative, after we finish having our conversation. So NBN Business website, we have a concierge page dedicated for micro, small, medium and enterprise and government businesses, because we know that your migration to the NBN or your use of it once you're connected is different. There are different needs and requirements for you. Business Readiness Toolkit is a really useful opportunity. It's an online checklist, and I'm going to step you through the steps for those shortly so you get a sense of what it is and the outcome out of that. It helps you prepare right, because again, our internal and market research says time and time again, the better prepared a business is to move to the NBN, the better their transition is, the more seamless it is, and the sooner they start to see the benefits of that connection. Then we'll look at Solution Finder, which again is an online checklist we've developed, 5 questions, 6 steps that say and help you to give you the right information to take to your phone and internet provider or your IT consultant or IT practitioner and say, hey, I need to do these things to improve my broadband connectivity. Let's have a chat about them. So bring some information, some knowledge, some empowering you to have the right questions answered from your phone and internet provider. If you don't have an IT consultant or an IT service provider to access, NBN have an accredited program where we've now got more than 1,000 IT, internet technology, information technology partners independently out there across Australia, across every region of the country, who are available to support you free of charge in understanding and helping you with that transition, what the risks look like and need to be supported, the right equipment and systems to help you do that, and anything else you might want in terms of upgrading your digital capability in that space. And then the last one is something we launched, we didn't launch, sorry, my apologies. We partnered in a launch with the Australian Information Industry Association, and that's a business continuity portal. It's a one-stop shop to support all types of businesses that has offers, advice and guidance on everything around technology. So you can go in there and get an assessment on what NBN looks and feels like for business, what services we offer, what research we've done, what guidance we can provide. You'll see Salesforce is there, Microsoft is there, Google is there, significant number of key players. All of them have offers, advice and guidance and support for you. Again, free to access. So let's start off with the business website. So the link is there on the screen. You can simply type in NBN Business on your browser. And what it covers is a significant amount of resources, everything from what is business NBN and what does that mean and how is it different from consumer or home? What are our products and technical specifications if you are interested in those? How to make the switch. You'll see there's support there from our Solution Finder tool, our partner program as well. Some really useful information on device compatibility, a very common question that is raised with us. Frequently asked questions, the top 10 tips type of scenario. There's some thought leadership articles there. And importantly, which RSPs, retail service providers, are currently selling business grade NBN. The next tool is the Readiness tool. So if you haven't yet connected, you can use this 3-step tool to create a tailored checklist to ensure you get the right services, the right speed, the right plan, the right support for your connection. So 3 steps. We'll run you through those right now briefly, but I'll, at the end of this, go to the website, go to the link, and you can do this online checklist yourself. So step 1 is thinking about what you need to do to get ready. So you've got to put your address in. So plug your address in. I've taken a random address. What do we get next? We get to choice. And the choice is what technologies, what systems, what devices apply to your business. You'll see there's everything from PABX, multiple phone line systems, through to fax, ATM, FPOST, high caps if in your health segment, monitored security alarms and cameras, fire alarms, lift emergencies, medical alarms, and of course a modem or a router. The dark blue highlighted ones there are the ones I've picked for this example, and it's literally tick and click. So then we move to the next step, the final step, and it says, what is your type of premises? Are you in a shared building, whether it's multi-story or a horizontal commercial precinct, or are you a micro business working from home? Make that final selection, and the results you'll get is what you see on the screen here. Things to consider to help you prepare your wiring and cabling inside your premises, your property. Are there any strata or body corporate permissions you need? Is there any leasing or renting positioning you need to talk about or seek permission for? And what about special services? What do they mean? What do they look like? And the last one is modem location. Where's best to put that? You'll see along the top of the screen there, we've highlighted things to consider, but there are 3 other tabs available in terms of this support, and that is installation, what to expect prior, what to expect on the day, what to expect after. Devices, that's a compatibility piece, what is my fax machine compatible? Yes or no? What about my printer? What about my existing modem? And then technology, that's everything else around there, software and hardware as well. So this one is very much about, if you haven't yet connected, get the right advice prior to help you make that transition effectively, to minimise business disruption and maximise the outcomes at the end, the benefits. So the second one tool that we're looking at now is Solution Finder. So yes, it's an online tool that helps you find the right business NBN plan to suit your business need. So answer 5 questions and you'll get a report at the end that allows you to understand what's going on, why, and take that to your phone and internet provider or your IT support for further support. The website link is there, but again, you'll get a copy of that following this webinar. So we'll just step through the Business Solution Finder. We know that different businesses have different needs for their voice and their data services. So it's really important to get the right one. Helping you make that decision, that's what this solution finder is about. So things to keep in mind in the background is you get your service, your retail product, your retail service from your phone and internet provider. You order that service through them. Then an NBN code technician will install and you're away. So step one, again, is inputting your address details. Second step is to choose how many business sites are you working from. Do you have multiple sites or one site? So in this instance, we've chosen one. The next step is how many employees are working at that one site. Are you a micro business working on your own, or do you have 2 or 3 other, up to 5 people working with your employees? So that's step 3. Step 4, do you have voice telephone lines? If so, how many? 3 or more, or just the one? And that will take you a different path of information in the report at the end. Step 5 gives you a number of options, and we'll spend a few moments talking about this. As you see there, what are the most commonly used tools and applications for your business site? I've picked a medium choice here, which says, yes, I use voice for voice over the internet protocol, audio phone calls only. I share files. I use office productivity tools. I use messaging apps, cloud computing, and at times I offer free public or guest Wi-Fi. Depending on your business, you'll choose either a low, medium, high, or critical impact needs for your business. That's step 5. The final step is, in the event of a fault, how quickly do you want that response, that service support, that assurance to come to you? So 12 hours or next business day. In this instance, I picked 12 hours. I want if a fault is created, happens for me, I need it within 12 hours. And then we hit results. And the results, a lot of detail. What I recommend is go to our online solution finder tool and run through the checklist. It literally takes 5 minutes. And you get a recommendation out of this, which you can email yourself or print off as a PDF and take that and use that as a reference tool. So by following those 6 steps, the recommendation from the solution finder for the example we've just run through was a premium bundle, M for medium. And what does that mean? We're recommending that, yes, you get business grade voice to manage your multiple phone lines. Yes, we recommend you get business grade data, a synchronous 20 megabit per second speed. That's committed. You get that unique piece of pipe, that bit of bandwidth to support your cloud and your voice services. And we also recommend that during your migration to the NBN, you get a parallel line installed so you can have 2 lines running at the same time, 2 broadband connections that are running your voice and data. One operates whilst your NBN connection is being connected. Therefore, there's no cutoff, no disruption, no stop of your voice and broadband services whilst you're getting a switch over. We would also recommend in this instance enhanced service levels for a 12-hour restoration, and that can operate 7 days a week. And then it says, what's the next steps? So print out or email yourself this report and then run it over to your phone and internet provider or your IT provider to help you prepare and transition effectively. We'll move on. What do you need to do next from that report? So you save it, contact your provider, and if you want, you can register for more information from us and we will contact you, and that covers things like tips and tricks on how to prepare, how to connect, and how to utilize the network once you are connected. Now, we mentioned before, one of the resources we have available is working with a business NBN accredited advisor. So we have more than 1,000 of these across the country. They've gone through an accreditation training program and initiative, and out of that, they can provide you with IT support, because we recognised, and again, we did market research and asked the business community, who do they go to as a clear example of when they're thinking about tech or changing the NBN? And the vast majority, over 70% from memory, indicated that it was to their accountant, their local provider of tech in their high street in the country town. So we've got a program to support you in that way. So approaching an accredited business advisor, you do that by emailing us, and there's the email at the bottom of the screen there, ictreferral@nbnco.com.au. What can they do? They can help you ensure a smooth transition, talk you through that and manage it, and help manage that process for you. They help reduce and minimise the risk. An example is that second dual line connection whilst you're doing your transition, so you don't lose voice or internet services during the cutover period. They know the technology, they know the equipment, they know the process to support you. They'll also help and guide you on answering the questions around the most appropriate solution to meet your needs, from a business NBN service, that voice, data, enhanced service agreement process I mentioned before, right through to choosing the right equipment and systems for you. Get a business grade modem. Sounds obvious and straightforward, but we know a lot of small businesses and home-based businesses have not. That actually makes an impact in their service quality. How to navigate this environment. It's a change for us all. It's something we all need to understand and address and go through. They can support you in that space as well. And then, if we reflect back on the digital maturity scale, remember earlier the Deloitte Access Economics report, the basic up to advanced, your ICT channel partner does have the ability and capability to support you to understand what that journey, that digital transition journey, can look like and feel for you. Another tool I mentioned earlier, we launched, there is a portal called the Business Continuity Portal that is run by a peak business industry body in the technology space. It's called the Australian Business Continuity Portal. And it's split into, at the moment, 3 key areas. There are offers, there is advice, and there is resources. This is all free to access, and it's the business industry's response to helping businesses address, manage, learn from, and grow from the impacts of COVID-19. So those offers are things like what kind of web-based video conferencing tools are out there. The advice is, here's the top 10 tips on how to work remotely. The resources in there, you'll find virtual meeting resources and thought leadership resources around what digital and transformation looks and feels like. Please do check that out, bookmark it, and use it regularly. Some great resources and tools in there. Almost finishing up. One of the things we'd certainly know is an NBN service quality is impacted by the wiring in your business or your home, the modem. So we call this optimization. So how can you optimize, how can you manage that inside your home or your business? So is it a modem? Do we need to look at that? What objects are in the way of your Wi-Fi signal? Is there any interference? How many connected devices you have going at the same time absolutely has an impact. What's the setup for your landline phones and your fax machines? Your retail service provider can assist, as can your ICT channel accredited partner. Have a conversation around professional network cabling for your home or your business. And make sure, of course, your devices are compatible and up to date. All these things have an impact on the quality of service, your ultimate quality of service. Something that's mindful for us all the day, every day, is protection or managing scams. And there are so many of those out there, everything from hacking to false billing, to malware and ransomware. Earlier this calendar year, NBN Co was receiving over 100 calls each and every day to our call centre asking, why have you called us? We think it's a scam. And simple answer is yes, it is. NBN Co never contact you directly without you opting in, without you giving us permission to do so. How can you manage this? Be aware, be prepared. Don't be alert, not alarmed would be my recommendation. And there are 3 services I highly recommend you take a look at. ScamWatch is a federal program. You can subscribe to that and it will share and advise you of when there are scams out there and what to do about them. The Australian Cyber Security Centre is another brilliant resource for us all. It's run by the federal government and it has significant number of templates, fact sheets, support items around how to manage your cyber risk and cyber protection. And then, of course, we have some advice and guidance as well on our website on what to do about that. And again, those links are in the resource pack we'll share after this webinar. Business frequently asked questions. From an NBN Co perspective, there are many of them. Take the time to understand which ones apply to you, but we've split them into 3 key components, 3 key phases. One is getting connected. One is choosing the right solution for your business. And one is the business service that may be impacted during your switch. Now, there are more than just the examples there, but getting connected. Can you call NBN to arrange your installation? The answer is no. You contact your phone and internet provider. When will your current business services be disconnected or switched off? That happens 18 months after the NBN Co have finished the build of the network and we've activated. So you've got a year and a half to make those considered decisions around the right speed, the right plan, the right service agreement, the right provider, get some IT support and make the decision and transition. Can your business keep the same phone number? It depends. The number portability is not something that NBN Co as a wholesaler manages. However, you can discuss that with your phone and internet provider. But as a general rule, yes, you can keep your phone number if you're staying with the same provider. And if you're transitioning to a different provider, depending whether they have a number porting and number sharing arrangement. Choosing the right plan. What plan should you choose? That depends on your business and what your service demands are in terms of the amount of data you want or need on a monthly basis, the speed tier you want, the quality of service you want to manage and maintain your voice service or your data service, and the service level agreement in case of fault issues arise. Another example there, what if my business requires multiple phone lines? We will be absolutely recommending you get the NBN business grade voice capability to manage those multiple lines. And are there different bandwidth and data options for business? Yes. We mentioned earlier on, consumer grade NBN is very much about best effort. Speed will vary during the day. Business grade NBN, dedicated bandwidth, dedicated piece of the pipe, dedicated speed to manage that bandwidth and those business critical services you want. What services can be impacted? Significant amount of those there for you to have a look at, and that's everything from your fire alarm, if you have one, to monitored security alarms, to ATM or FPOS, to your fax, your photocopy, your printer. Simple answer is take a look at the device compatibility tools that we've got and those answers to the questions there, and be prepared and manage that as you transition and as you grow your business from NBN. So what are the next steps? The next steps really are 3 key ones. And then I'll share a short reference around 3 takeouts that I think are the most important things from today's webinar. So the next steps are firstly to check to see if the NBN is available for you. And as I said, we've done 95% of the country. More than 7 million homes and businesses can connect right now. And if not, register for an update at the moment, and we'll advise you when you can connect. Step 2, look out for an email from the National Retail Association that discusses and shares the resources we've run through today, the COVID-19 financial relief and support package, the thought leadership and the research articles and why is that relevant for your business, the tools around the business readiness tool to prepare you for a switch, the solution finder that'll help you choose the right service plan to meet your business need, ICT channel support program, and those operators that can help you from that tech space. And the third one there, of course, is contact your phone and internet provider in all instances. We are a wholesaler. We don't connect you directly. We don't have a retail contract or service with you directly. We have that through our customer, the phone and internet provider. So wrapping up, firstly, thank you for your time. Thank you for taking some focus out of the hustle and bustle of your daily business and your daily community issues and challenges we're facing right now under COVID-19. But if there were 3 takeouts that I'd like to share from today, one is you've done the right thing by taking an opportunity to understand a little bit more. There is support out there. There's financial and there's practical support for your preparation for migration to, connection of, and utilisation of your NBN broadband service. I would advocate strongly, be prepared. If you haven't yet connected, go through the Readiness tool and have a conversation with your phone and internet provider or contact an ICT channel accredited partner. Understand, because we certainly know the feedback time and time again from those more than 1 million businesses that are connected, the ones that said, I did my research, I took the time to understand, I got prepared, and they're the ones who tell us that their transition was okay, they didn't have issues, and they're on the right service, the right speed, the right support to manage their business and its growth and success. And lastly, please share this resource, this service, this capability, and contact your phone and internet provider. So I will pass back to Jess now with a closing remark and saying thank you from me. So Jess, back to you.
Thank you so much, Chris, and I hope all of you who attended today found this informative. You are more than welcome to email us afterwards if you have any FAQs about this session. I know it was quite a lot to take in, but either way, we hope you enjoyed this session and we hope to see you at more of our webinars in the future. So thank you for taking the time today to attend with us.